A long-awaited watch for myself for sure, but I finally got around to finishing Golden Time. Golden Time at the beginning wasn't perceived to be anything mind-blowing. I mean, it was 2014, so there wasn't standards for anime. The show follows a guy named Tada Banri, which, by the way, I really hate this name after 24 episodes, and he's a college student who has amnesia. I'll be real, all the first 23 episodes are pretty much filler, meant to set up the relationship with him and Coco, his girlfriend, who is not really waifu material as other people are this season. But jokes aside, I'll get back to her in a bit. But after a yearish of dating this girl, partaking in college, and spending time with his friends, he loses all of his surrounding memories of them at the second to last episode. His mind returns to what it was before college started and seemed to have the same thoughts at the time, including his love interest for another girl who was his childhood friend named Linda. So you might be asking me, Agent Aaron, what's the problem here? This sounds fine. Well, some of the filler, I'll call it, was actually pretty fine. Basically, any time where the friends are just talking about life, not just about the MC's amnesia, is when I was interested. They really pushed the amnesia into his character, and it really fell flat for me. There wasn't much development because it heavily foreshadowed his loss of memories in the future, and it does eventually happen. So what was the point in waiting 24 episodes for it to happen? There's nothing interesting about the characters other than his journey to redefine his own morals and opinions, but all gets subsided at the end and leaves you confused because he's basically the same person as he was throughout the anime. Specifically about Linda, I didn't really find a problem with her other than her one-dimensional character. She was just the childhood friend that the MC would cling to for comfort at the end. That's it. The really only important change is when it goes into her love life, but no surprise here, it didn't get anywhere and it wasn't finalized at the end, so just a flat-out boring character as well. But now, let's get into the main girl, Coco. Sure, there was a romantic development for Banri, but there wasn't one for Coco. Her attitude to him from the get-go was this overzealous lover and stalker type. She has no good morals and she puts her love for him above everything. While that's neat and dandy for the MC, of course, because, waifu, it quite frankly lowers Coco as a redeemable character because she doesn't change. She ends up being the same misguided girl from episode 1. Yes, she didn't force her emotions onto the guy when he lost his memories, but that's the respectable thing to do. That shouldn't be surprising, right? I mean, he's practically a stranger. Going lovey-dovey would be meaningless if he doesn't actually have emotions for her, which was her goal in the first place. Don't get me wrong, there is certainly chemistry between the two characters, but there's nothing to bond them as independent good characters, or characters that brought something to light. Because quite frankly, I hope no one is a stalker type to people in real life, and I don't think amnesia is pretty common to this extent, at least in the modern day society, so I'm not sure what the moral of the story is and or who the demographic is for. That's what I try to think about after watching shows like these, and I didn't really feel anything here. As for other shows such as Demon Slayer, sure there isn't much point to the story, but at least it's fun to watch and you really have a good time watching it. But for a show that's about slice of life, it's supposed to be representing another life. The life of the MC, of course, so I felt like there should have been more stuff just happening to them as opposed to the comedy and the story as in other shows do. Continuing on, there is one redeemable thing Golden Time presents. No, it's not anything lewd, it is the friendships. The friendship between Banri, Coco, Tootie-kun, Blondie, and Shorty was great. There is no space being violated for the most part of the five. They like hanging out with each other, specifically during college, and it's openly positive. The thing I adore about how this friendship is written is that towards the end, they start having issues with the friendship because of the consequences of the MC's amnesia. The main thing is that they were not informed fully of his past and or conditions, and it caused a lot of tension between the five, of course. Yes, they do end up being chill at the end, no surprise there, but nonetheless, there was tension, and that's the thing I want to highlight. No one is perfect, and we all have struggles in our own lives, and sometimes we just quite frankly want to keep them to ourselves. In his mind, the MC was struggling with his own identity, wasn't sure on who he was, and didn't really want his friends to worry about him. At first, when they were vaguely told about it, they were cool with it, and that's the typical response that you should get from people that you're friends with, pretty much accepting of each other's wishes. Their circumstances were more questionable whether or not he should have told them earlier, but I digress. I like the friends a lot in this anime. They show a much more healthy relationship than the romantic relationships. My biggest gripe with the anime, however, is just dragging the main plot device and not doing much with it. Amnesia is too plain as day as to how it will be used to serve the story. For 24 episodes, Golden Time took its time, but it was the time that really didn't need to be spent on the relationship. For 2014, it was probably fine, but now I appreciate more more thought out and purpose put into slice of life or romance shows, putting the story to a level in which the viewer can put themselves into the character's shoes and understand life from another perspective is why so many people enjoy these types of shows. It's to sink a message into our minds to understand another side of a coin. But for Golden Time's side of the coin is pretty plain, uninspiring, and insignificant. It doesn't let you fully grasp the golden message the author was trying to set and appreciate the time put into the story. Thanks for watching.